Alright, so we have a decent sized order here from BPN. Now, full disclaimer, I ordered all of the stuff myself. I paid for it with my own money. They did not send it to me as much as I would love to work with BPN. But basically, I've been supporting the brand, supporting Nick for the past 3 or 4 years, ever since I first found his YouTube channel. And I've gone through phases of using their products before. And as I'm getting deeper into this marathon prep, and with only 2 months left to go, basically, I thought now would be the appropriate time to make a call on my nutrition moving into the marathon. And I decided BPN was the way to go. I've used some of their products before. I think that they are really great. So I'm gonna share with you today what I've got. This is the Go One More insulated squeeze bottle. This is a newly released product from BPN. It's their Go One More CLE collaboration hat. Now we're actually getting into the legitimate endurance products. So let's start with G1M Sport. So this is their electrolyte and carbohydrate mix. So each scoop of this is 20 grams of carbs, 350 milligrams of sodium. On top of that, we have the electrolytes. So these are lemon lime flavor. Electrolytes, 500 milligrams of sodium per serving. Next up, I see this as a really good option for a pre-run meal or snack. So these are the BPN Go bars. So these are a new release product from BPN as well, actually. So each one of these is 200 calories, 36 grams of carbohydrates. All right, last but not least, this is also one of their new products in their endurance line. We have the BPN Go Gel. So this flavor is apple cinnamon. It is 100 calories and 24 grams of carbs per gel. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to trying these out. So a big focus for me moving through the remainder of this block is making sure that I'm well fueled before any run, no matter the distance. I find that for any run that is sub 1 hour, I would just always go out there fasted, sometimes without even having drunk any water. And I definitely feel the effects of it. And honestly, I would just like to see what it feels like to be fueled during every single run. Not only for its performance during the run itself, but also to improve recovery time afterwards, as we are running quite a lot at the moment, as well as strength training. So being well fueled is sort of priority in terms of being able to help me hit those sessions. So this morning we've got a bit of a reverse pyramid workout. So it's a 20-minute warm-up, and then we go into 8 minutes, 6 minutes, 4 minutes, 6 minutes, 8 minutes, with 1.5 minute recovery float in between, and then a 20-minute cool down. We're gonna take the SLE B4s for a spin. And for fuel this morning, obviously you saw I had the Go bar that is 36 grams of carbs. I also had 1 scoop of G1M Sport, which is 20 grams of carbs, 350 milligrams of sodium. So in that alone, we're already up to 56 grams of carbs. And then I'm just gonna take 1 gel, so one of the Go gels. These are 24 grams of carbs, and there's 110 milligrams of sodium in these as well. So let's do this thing, baby. Is this cold in Christchurch? I think it's like 7 degrees this morning or something. Alright. Go gel, going down. So we're back from our run now. It was just over an hour and 13 minutes, 14 kilometers roughly. And I did those, it was actually like it was technically called a broken tempo workout once I actually went and looked at what my coach had called it in Training Peaks. And so the 8-6-4, 6-8 minutes I did at around marathon pace. Excuse the steam there. It's I'm cooking some rice. I did it marathon pace, which is about 4:37 per kilometer. So good session. Nice to get some tempo work in. I hadn't done a bit of tempo work for a few weeks with being sick and whatnot. So it's nice to get a session like that out of the way. At the moment, I am just making some food. This is a smoothie here, so it's just got milk, a banana, blueberries, creatine, a scoop of protein, and then I'm just finishing off the Go On More Sport and the electrolytes that are in this bottle. My microphone is completely covered in dog hair, but let's just ignore that. So I really want to talk about race day nutrition and nutrition in general for marathon training. Personally, it's something that I got wrong really early on in my running career, I guess you could call it. And I think it's something that people get wrong now as they're getting into the sport of running. When I say race day nutrition, you might think, why are you sort of talking about that so early on in this block? You've still got 6 more weeks until race day. Why don't you talk about it later? The idea about race day nutrition is that you want to be practicing it as early as possible in your block, because if you're new to running, certain foods, certain types of fuel, whether they be gels or electrolyte mixes or carbohydrate drink mixes, they may not work for you. What I urge you to do, and what we're going to talk about, is how to practice race day nutrition through your long runs. Today, we're just going to focus on intra-race nutrition. So what it is you're taking throughout that marathon distance of 42.2 kilometers. So some rough guides that we should be looking to hit for race day nutrition is, per hour, we're looking for 40 to 60 grams of carbohydrates and 700 to 900 milligrams of sodium. What that looks like for carbohydrates is roughly 1.5 to 2 gels per hour. And then for sodium, it would be roughly 1.5 to 2 scoops of this electrolyte formulation from BPN. So that is 750 to 1000 milligrams of sodium. Now on race day itself, being able to get, 750 milligrams to 1000 milligrams of sodium through this electrolyte mix is just not feasible, because I will not have a bottle on me. And the drink sponsor on course, which I think is Pure Sports Nutrition, you will never be able to get enough either carbohydrates or electrolytes in the forms of sodium, potassium, etc. from those drink mixes on course. So we need to make sure that we're supplementing ourselves to keep ourselves fueled. So on race day, to supplement our sodium, we will be doing 1 salt tab every 30 minutes. And that salt tab is roughly 400 milligrams of sodium, so 800 milligrams of sodium per hour. Everyone's race day nutrition is slightly different. I know that that is what my body needs to get me across the finish line without, hopefully, hitting the wall. Some people may sweat more, so they might need more sodium. Some people may need to have more carbs. And that is the whole point of practicing your race day nutrition during your long runs, so you know what you need to stay fueled, what works for your body, and what's going to best help you perform on race day. So if you're new to running, new to fueling, and you're looking at running a half marathon or a marathon, I'd highly recommend you go out, try a few different gels, see what works for you, see what tastes the best, and then start to apply that into your long runs so your body can get used to that type of fuel, get used to using that type of fuel, and then when you come to race day, you've done it before, you know it feels good, you know it works for you, and it's just one thing you don't have to worry about. So tomorrow we have a bit of a session. It's a total of 2 hours and 15 minutes. It's a 20-minute warm-up, 30 minutes at zone 3, and then a 3-minute recovery, 25-minute zone 4, 3-minute recovery, 30-minute zone 3, and then a 20-minute cool down. So for that effort, we're going to take 3 gels, and then we'll either take a handheld water bottle with some G1M Sports. This is 20 grams of carbs, 350 milligrams of sodium, and then 1 scoop of electrolytes. That's another 500 milligrams of sodium. And then we might also take a few salt tabs as well, just because I haven't used those for a while. So get the body used to having that salt hit the stomach and hopefully feeling all right. So please practice fueling. I think it can really make or break your marathon and your training as well. I feel like a lot of people go into large workouts underfueled. So go to your local running store, try some different brands, see what's going to work for you, and I promise you it's going to help when you turn up on race day. One thing not a lot of you know about me is the fact that because of my eyesight, I am not allowed to drive. So my main form of transportation is this electric skateboard and one other one. How I get a lot of the shots of me running is via one of these electric skateboards. And so this one here has a 7-kilometer range battery. The other one has a 14-kilometer range battery, but it's a smaller board and it's harder to ride. So I am going to swap these batteries around, so when we go and film tomorrow, it's much easier for Ben to ride this longer skateboard than the short one. The only risky thing here is the fact that these boards are made by Boosted Board, who are no longer in business. And I haven't swapped the batteries in a very long time, so fingers crossed, nothing goes wrong.
Ride. Look, something's coming. I can see it now on my red view. Woo. Touch one hand, me, man, I dare you. Woo. Leave no witnesses when I tear through. Woo. I got a few things that air you. Woo. Young and old, anybody can get it. Anybody who listens to intercoms and attendance, get them gone, let them know.
Good morning. It's Saturday, which means we've got our long run today. So today's session is it's a long run with stepped efforts. So this morning for fuel, we've had those 2 pieces of sourdough toast, which puts us at about 40 grams. About to have this Go bar now, which is another 36 grams. And then I've got 1 scoop of G1M Sport and 1 scoop of Electrolytes in here, both from BPN. So that's another 20 grams of carbs and 850 milligrams of sodium. So nearly 100 grams of carbs for the morning. And then I've got 3 Go gels with me for while out on the run. I'm gonna do today's session in the New Balance Fuel Cell Rebel. I've had these for a couple weeks now, but I've only put 2 easy runs in them. So this effort today with some zone 3, zone 4 running in it, I think should be a really good test for these shoes. One of the things that has majorly helped and changed my training is this heart rate monitor from Garmin. So, like I mentioned today, a lot of the runs that I do are based on heart rate. All of my easy runs are based on heart rate. Some of the sessions that I do, like today's one, is based on heart rate, and then sometimes they're based around pace. But you just cannot trust the heart rate monitor that is built into your watch. You cannot go wrong with something like this. So this is the Garmin HRM Pro, and it syncs directly to my watch, and the heart rate data and the accuracy of it is just far, far superior than what you can get from your watch. So honestly, if you want to up your training and make sure that all the work that you're doing is actually in the right zones, I would highly recommend you get a heart rate monitor.
Come on!
We're just going to do that, I think. Are we just going to do laps around here, or are we going to...
Or just do laps around here. It's not super exciting, but...
Running's not super exciting.
Exactly. We're literally going to be running laps of the marathon, so it's like, that's what we just get used to running laps.
I've got some mental training. Yeah. Let's have this conversation with Ed about this and stuff. Everyone's just like, oh, I don't want to run the Christchurch run because it's boring, you know, it's 4 laps or something. I was like, I can't remember anything from any of my other races. Like the cell, I can't remember what the surroundings are like. No.
That's just like, people say the same thing about like Queenstown. They're like, what do they call it? Like flat out beautiful. First of all, it's not flat. And it's like, you're too busy running to like take in the scenery anyway. So it's like, may as well just get used to like Christchurch, any marathon's boring.
Mega Rav is back with it, action-packed raps, back to back, eating off of the rap snacks, that's a fact. When it took me a cat nap, now I'm awake, no more breaks, where you at, act what you want. Them boys catfishing, we headline, they just ad-libbing. They want a ball, but the stats missing. They can't see us, nah, they can't beat us. Trying to run it up, but really they can't keep up. Sweet buttercups, no need for heat seekers.
I was going to say, keep going, brother, I'll drive it for you.
No,
I'll ride that for you. I was going to say, keep going, brother, I'll ride it for you.
You need the remote, bro.
I wasn't taking it, but I was going to ride it up to you.
Nah, it's alright.
And so you could carry on doing your photographing, because
it's not enough when you've seen the reaper. Nothing's gonna shake or break you off either. It's not enough to say you gon' see me. Wanna see you do it, cause talk is still easy. It's not enough to say you gon' beat me. Man, I've been around the town, you ain't greasy. It's not enough. Woo! Man, I'm calling on the bluff. It's time to wake up, man. It's not enough.
Alright, so that's 24K's done, just over 2 hours. And then yeah, we had the 30-minute, the 25-minute, and the 30-minute section at zone 3, zone 4, zone 3. And managed to hold pace relatively well through the middle of it. Definitely helped having Chad, Shooks, and Stephen. I think that session was made way easier having you guys there. Yeah. I think because Shooks is like such a good runner, she makes shit look so easy and sort of just like picks up pace as she goes.
That's good.
Alright, so yeah, that's the session done. Nice. Everything went to plan, which is always nice. Little 30-minute tomorrow at Run Club. Yeah. That's the week done. Yeah.
Easy.
Lovely. Alright, I'm happy to say I successfully navigated one of my biggest training weeks in quite some time. And honestly, I felt pretty good throughout the whole thing. So let's break down the week. Monday, we started with 10.22 kilometers at a 5:52 average pace, and then we trained lower body on the evening of Monday night. Tuesday, we just had 50 minutes easy. Wednesday, we had that broken tempo session, which you have seen already. It was 14.12 kilometers at a 5:10 average pace. And then on Wednesday, we were back in the gym again to train upper body. Thursday was actually a rest day from running, but what I did was I ran to the gym as a bit of a warm-up before training legs, so that was just over 2.5 kilometers, and then obviously we trained legs at the gym. On Thursday, I made it back to the gym at night and did a sauna and ice bath session. Friday, we had 45 minutes with some strides. Saturday's session, which you also saw, 24 kilometers, 5:01 average pace, and a little over 2 hours. On Saturday, I made it back into the gym and did another ice bath and sauna session. Sunday, we did Floor 12 Run Club, which was 6 kilometers. We went home, had some food, and went back to the gym and trained upper body again. So it was a pretty full-on week. I ran every single day this week, albeit Thursday was only a short run. Made it to the gym 4 times and also got in 2 ice bath and sauna sessions. So a really good week of training, and I put it all down to the fact that I was going into each session well fueled. I was fueling throughout sessions depending on what they were, and then afterwards I was again fueling properly post session, making sure to get in good protein and enough carbs to start the recovery process and then be ready to do it all again the next day. You cannot underestimate the importance of fueling. That's why I wanted to basically dedicate this whole episode to fueling, because it is so crucial when it comes to your training. I think obviously with all of the running that I'm doing, I'm relatively used to the running volume, but it's being able to have the energy to get into the gym to do the lower body sessions so we can increase our strength as well as try and avoid any injuries. So that's everything for this week. Again, thank you very much for the support on the series so far. I'll see you guys in the next one.